beautiful San Jose, California, round 7 of the San Jose Regional Championships. Today we have Demetrios K, known as KingDJK, on top, and HotelVacaville, who I think his name's Andre E something. They're both 6-1, so winner of here definitely going on to the top cut. Demetrios, Tyranitar, Garchomp, Aegislash, Gardevoir, Talonflame, and Gyarados, while Andre has an Aegislash of his own, Azumarill, Talonflame, Amoonguss, and I can't see those other two. What do you think?
So both players right now, 6-1. KingDJK on top with HotelVacaville on bottom. This is an elimination match. This is the last round of Swiss. Both these players are X-1. You know, a lot of things must be going through both players' heads. I mean, you see how much time exactly they're taking for team preview to go through. So a lot of tough decisions. You know, turn 1 in team preview are probably the most important turns.
Absolutely. Winner here definitely moving on, probably. Definitely probably moving on. Loser with, you know, some 6 and 2s. If they get in, you know, both these players probably have a pretty decent opponent's win percentage. So I wouldn't be surprised to see both these guys later in top cut. But definitely you want to win this one to secure your top cut spot.
You always don't want to be that person that just ends up at 9th place.
I've only been that person 3 times.
I know. I mentioned that because
I hate you. 3 times in one season.
Remember that one time you opponent's win percentage?
I don't.
Oh,
I repressed it.
You repressed it? Okay. Going into the leads right now, Andre gonna lead with Azumarill and Raichu. Very popular leads, you know, Raichu with that fake out support and Azumarill with that belly drum. And KingDJK gonna go with Garchomp and Tyranitar. These are 4 our pretty popular Pokemon right now.
Now Azumarill really posing a huge threat to KingDJK. Play rough into that Garchomp, or play rough into either of these guys is not going to be well received. Don't know what kind of Azumarill he's running. He may have the superpower. If he does, I wouldn't be surprised to try to fake out, pretend like he's going for the Garchomp with the play rough and hit the Tyranitar instead. He does have a fake out option on Raichu, assumingly so. I mean, Raichu does commonly carry fake out, but it also carries Encore. So if KingDJK's got, you know, if some of his Pokemon are slower than this Raichu and they protect, they're in really serious trouble of just being protect, you know.
There it is,
the
protect on the Garchomp and the fake out gonna go into that Garchomp protect. As Azumarill gonna set up that belly drum, you know, there it is, the very powerful setup, maximizing its attack at the cost of 50% of its hit points. But of course, with Citrus Berry, that procs it back to about 75% anyways. Gonna be interesting to see what that Tyranitar decides to do, as that Garchomp right now might be locked into protect next turn with an Encore. As Tyranitar gonna go for the Rock Slide, gonna do a little bit of damage to both Pokemon. Actually, a lot of damage to Raichu, and Azumarill going down into the yellow as well. So both Pokemon heavily damaged, or like moderately damaged on Andre's side, but he has such a good setup right now.
What to note is that Tyranitar went after the Azumarill, so Azumarill's definitely going to get a chance to attack this turn before going down to that Tyranitar. The Garchomp on KingDJK's side is really the only thing that's going to get a chance to attack if that Raichu doesn't Encore him into protect for the rest of this game.
And that's definitely one of the risks about playing against Raichu, you know. It has so many things, you know, Lightning Rod gonna boost the special attack if you try to fire off an electric attack into that Azumarill. Protect to prevent fake out from happening, it's just gonna easily Encore you. Tyranitar right now gonna switch from KingDJK's side onto the Gyarados, gonna intimidate, but at +5, you know, Azumarill is still gonna be very damaging towards anything on the field, really, as Garchomp gonna go Mega.
Whoa, Mega Garchomp, we're seeing some good stuff today, oh my god.
The Sand Force of Garchomp,
Sand Force, I think that's what it is.
As the Azumarill gonna go for the Aqua Jet, gonna go onto that Gyarados, gonna do 50%. That's still a lot of damage, as Raichu gonna go for the Encore onto the Garchomp, gonna be locking himself into protect.
So this Garchomp's going to need to switch, or it's gonna take a play rough one of these turns. I'm not sure how much damage this Gyarados is going to be able to deal to this Azumarill, especially with, you know, the threat of that Aqua Jet KOing it again. It's just one more Aqua Jet and the Gyarados is gonna go down. Garchomp stuck into protect, even though both of Andre's Pokemon are quite, you know, heavily damaged. He's in a pretty fabulous position. Even the Raichu can threaten the Gyarados here with a Thunderball. He's got the play rough. The Garchomp has no threat of attack. I'm expecting to see some switches here or sacks. I mean, he's either going to have to sacrifice his stuff or switch. There's not really much else KingDJK can do.
Right. Really tough spot right now for KingDJK. I mean, Tyranitar cannot come in, and going to come down to what DJK's last Pokemon really is to see if there is a switch that is safe, as Garchomp gonna switch this turn. Gonna go to Talonflame. That's an alright switch. Could have been risky with the possible Aqua Jet on Garchomp. I mean, it's already locked protecting. As Gyarados gonna protect us with this turn, as Azumarill gonna go for the Aqua Jet on the Gyarados, and Raichu gonna go for the Thunderbolt into the Gyarados as well. So safe switch right there for KingDJK to get that Talonflame in for free. and possibly threaten that Azumarill with a Brave Bird next turn.
Basically, the only viable play KingDJK had left, the only hope was getting this Talonflame out so he could threaten the Azumarill with a priority Brave Bird to KO it before it gets an Aqua Jet off. That was his only hope. He goes for the switch in against two Pokemon that frankly super affected and would basically one-shot it, and he gets in on a great switch. The HotelVacaville doubles into the Gyarados. That Protect was just so massive, and it's going to threaten, this Azumarill is not going to be able to do anything now so long as his Talonflame's on the field.
And you see that Talonflame going to go for that Brave Bird into the Raichu. So good read right there by KingDJK to knock out the Raichu and bringing the score up to 4-3 in his favor. Saw that Protect right there from Azumarill coming, and Gyarados gonna have a turn to fire off an Earthquake, not gonna do any damage at all this turn, as Sandstorm's still gonna chip away at Talonflame and the Azumarill, so good play right there from KingDJK. I mean, looking at his position 2 turns ago, it wasn't the best, and now he is actually in very good position because that Brave Bird, again, still gonna threaten this Azumarill this turn. Gonna be a 50% chance to see if that Azumarill can Protect again this turn.
This was a complete reversal of situations, just that one turn of getting in Talonflame, just being faster and making sure Azumarill can't get an attack off anymore, really put himself, KingDJK put himself in a great position to take this game back. Andre brings out his own Tyranitar. That Rock Slide's threatening everything on this field right now. So we know KingDJK's got that Garchomp in the back, and he's got his own Tyranitar, which both, wouldn't mind taking a Rock Slide too much. So there may be a switch there, but you got to understand, KingDJK really cannot let this Azumarill attack anymore unless he wants to just start losing Pokemon one by one.
Right, and we see the Mega Tyranitar going to be revealed this turn as Talonflame going to go for the Brave Bird, going to target down the Azumarill most likely to knock it out, as it does, going to knock out the Azumarill, and ooh, this is a very similar team to what we see from Baz Anderson from all his Nugget Bridge tournaments, as Talonflame revealing the Life Orb as it did many turns ago, taking a lot of recoil damage. That's one of the things about Talonflame, It takes recoil, but it's also so good because of that priority Brave Bird. As Tyranitar gets the flinch from the waterfall. Ooh, huge flinch right there.
Big turn. Now, Tyranitar, didn't take half. He was probably going to survive another one of those waterfalls, but that Rock Slide would have really been helpful for Andre. I mean, he definitely needed that. He needed to get rid of this Talonflame before it, Flare Blitzed his Aegis Slash. He wanted to get rid of this Gyarados. Both of those things surely would have fallen to a well-placed Rock Slide, and he would have been looking down a Mega Garchomp and a Tyranitar. Probably KingDJK probably still had the advantage in that situation, but it would have been a lot closer than it is now. He's got a lot of leeway, KingDJK, to just do a little bit of chip damage with these two and bring in his back and kind of just clean up.
Right, and that Waterfall and most likely another Brave Bird will be able to knock out that Tyranitar. So good position right now for KingDJK. Tyranitar going to protect itself this turn, not going to want to take any damage and see where these attacks are going, as the Brave Bird does land into the Tyranitar, and Gyarados going for the Waterfall, going into the Tyranitar as well, and let's see what Aegis Slash decides to do this turn. This is huge, really good prediction right there from Andre, as the Aegis Slash is going to go for the Shadow Ball, and it is going to hit the Gyarados. Is it going to be enough to knock it out? And it is going to be able to pick up the knockout to bring it back down to 3-2, a bit more manageable, as the Waterfall from Gyarados really going to be able to threaten it, but, Garchomp is still in back, and there it is. Garchomp going to come out anyways. Garchomp can just fire off an Earthquake, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got to really applaud Andre on that play. He had to call a double attack and make the right protect there to even come close to coming back into this game. So good on him for realizing, hey, my Tyranitar would survive another Waterfall. He'll probably double into it to try to get rid of it. Let me protect it and go aggro with this Aegis Slash.
And Aegis Slash going Wide Guard.
This may be enough to turn it around if KingDJK makes a misplay. This may be enough. That Wide Guard.
Woo! Brave Bird going there right now onto the Tyranitar, going to do a little bit of damage to it, as it's going to do damage back to itself. Recoil, Life Orb, that did a lot more damage back to Tyranitar, or Talonflame than it did to Tyranitar, I believe, as the Wide Guard protecting itself from the Earthquake, as Tyranitar going for the Dragon Dance.
Oh, wow.
So huge right there. Aegis Slash is showing off exactly, what it can do besides just King Shield and stalling out Wide Guard. Incredible.
It's been 2 turns in a row. Andre has pulled out exactly what he's needed to stay in this game. I mean, his situation, it's getting better turn by turn, even though he was so far behind. That Wide Guard was so well timed. You just stayed in attack mode. I don't care about your Flare Blitz. I don't think you're going to go for it. KingDJK went for the Brave Bird and Tyranitar, let the Aegis Slash do what it wanted, and I mean, I don't know, maybe with a good flinch here, this could... We're going to have to see.
I mean, Garchomp is still a big threat. Tyranitar, the crunch from Tyranitar is not going to be able to knock out that Garchomp, really, as Tyranitar going to protect itself this turn. Aegis Slash most likely going into shield form as well. doesn't want to take any damage at all. Probably going to want to start supporting that Tyranitar while it's in shield form.
But King's Shield only had a 50% chance of going off after that wide guard.
Risky, but I mean, this is it. You know,
he's calling it Draco Meteor from that
going.
Garchomp coming out. That's mixed.
So Garchomp is coming out, and wow,
what is going on? Back-to-back games of just what? So wide guard you can hit over and over and over again. So there was definitely that threat, and that's why you didn't see Garchomp going for another Earthquake. You know, probably anticipating Aegislash to wide guard again. King's Shield was a little bit risky, but I mean, he pulled it off, and I mean, oh my God, does he have a chance? Do you think Andre can pull back from this?
It's still close. I mean, Tyranitar with that Dragon Dance is very scary.
Garchomp Garchomp avoids the Rock Slide.
Gonna be able to knock out the Talonflame, but unfortunately, a critical hit on the Talonflame didn't really matter too much, as Garchomp does avoid it, and Garchomp going for the Draco Meteor, and Tyranitar avoids it too. That's why you run Dragon Claw.
There was no sand, so Tyranitar didn't have the boost, the special defense boost, and having the sand up. Aegislash is going to go for a Shadow Ball right here. That Rock Slide, having Tyranitar at +1 speed, allowed it to outspeed Talonflame, so he didn't get a chance to Flare Blitz before Tyranitar got an attack off. So that was really important there as a way to protect the Aegislash. Garchomp's still afraid of Earthquaking.
And that Tyranitar comes in to, bring back that sand, get a special defense boost to that Tyranitar. So, it's a close battle right now between KingDJK and HotelVacaville. Wow, I mean, that Mega Garchomp, it's trying its best to do stuff,
Earthquake's really a big way KingDJK can bring this game back, but first of all, he's standing next to his own Tyranitar. He definitely doesn't want to Earthquake that. He's looking at, HotelVacaville's faster Tyranitar who's rock sliding, possibly going to get a flinch, and he's got the wide guard on Aegislash to worry about. Tyranitar is going to protect from Andre, as is the Garchomp, so they're both trying to protect their Megas here. Aegislash is going to go back into King Shield mode, try to just not take any damage.
Not take as much damage when it does come to attack next turn, as we see what Tyranitar is going to do. Tyranitar going to go for the Rock Slide, and right now this is a very close match. Time is actually, almost out. There's only about 4 minutes left. That's about 4 turns. And do you think that there's enough for HotelVacaville to come back in 4 minutes?
Even if he doesn't, I think he's played these last 4 or 5 turns so well that he should definitely be proud of what he's doing. There's a reason he's 6-1. A failed protect as Tyranitar goes for a crunch. Is this going to be enough? It's
going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. As Garchomp does get knocked out.
Oh, wow.
Garchomp does get knocked out, and it comes down to Aegislash and Mega Tyranitar versus DJK's own Tyranitar. As the Rock Slide comes out, that's not going to be able to knock out that Tyranitar, because Tyranitar is so bulky. Mega Tyranitar is so bulky, as Aegislash is going to go into Stance Change right now. Going to go into Blade Form. Going to fire off a Shadow Ball onto that Tyranitar, most likely doubling up on that Mega Garchomp to make sure that Garchomp got knocked out. Garchomp was a big threat right there.
Especially after that Protect last turn. However, looking at Aegislash, look, it's got Wide Guard, it's got King Shield, Shadow Ball. What do you think? You think it's got Flash Cannon? What is that last move?
I believe it should have some type of a... it most likely does have Flash Cannon to hit, but I mean, I would have picked Flash Cannon the previous turn, but this is still so close. I mean, this next move from Tyranitar is going to be huge. It's going to do a lot of damage to this normal Tyranitar, and Aegislash, it's still there. That third Pokemon out there is still so big, as Tyranitar going to protect itself this turn, and Aegislash is probably going to go to Shield Form. There it is, the King Shield right there, as, it comes down right now to...
Yeah, don't crunch,
right,
don't crunch.
Right.
I'm sure KingDJK was really hoping to get a knockout with that Rock Slide last turn, just didn't pull it. He goes for his own Protect, so just trying to scout out. HotelVacaville's Tyranitar still at that +1 attack, +1 speed from the Dragon Dance earlier. He's got that basically full health Aegislash, but Tyranitar with a well-timed crunch could end it. I mean, he can get rid of this Aegislash and deal with the other Tyranitar.
Right, as we saw earlier, the turn before, the opposing Tyranitar's Protect failed because every Pokemon protected that turn. And now Aegislash is going to go for that King Shield. Going to stay, or not the King Shield, the Wide Guard. Going to stay in Shield form this turn, which is very important because right now, that Protect was burned on that opposing Tyranitar, and Mega Tyranitar can now easily fire off an attack. And this Aegislash can also fire off an attack on that Tyranitar. So great call right there to do the rocks, to do the Wide Guard. I mean, it was so safe. You're going to protect your Tyranitar from any Rock Slide and also stay in Shield form. That's very important right now. As Tyranitar going to go for another Dragon Dance. That's a bit risky right there.
This is a bit risky. Definitely if KingDJK gets a little smart and goes for a crunch on HotelVacaville's Tyranitar. He doesn't. He goes for the Rock Slide, possibly trying to take out Andre's Tyranitar for sure and hoping for a flinch from this Aegislash. So he didn't take too much damage. The sand does end, which is a big problem for KingDJK because he really wanted to absorb whatever Aegislash is going to throw at it. With that special defense boost, I'm sure Andre for these past couple turns has actually been trying to stall out that sand.
Absolutely, and right now it's going to come down to these next few turns. I mean, I believe Andre is actually in very good position right now to finish off the deal. +2/+2 Tyranitar, and the Aegislash is still there. We see that Aegislash is not leftovers, possibly weakness policy.
Possibly weakness policy.
So it's coming down to the last turns right here. I mean, what a back and forth battle this was. Andre coming on so strong, and then KingDJK coming back, getting himself into this position that he was in where we thought it was over for Andre, and now Andre in the driver's seat with the wide guard, and Tyranitar does dodge it.
Andre's Rock Slide misses and gives the KingDJK a chance to crunch. Andre's Tyranitar finishes it off. Now we're looking at a one-on-one, both at full health, but it's a Tyranitar versus an Aegislash. We don't know the item. If he goes and he fires off and he activates his weakness policy, Aegislash is going to take out Tyranitar. There's no stand up. It's going to end right there. However, I mean, he's got to attack at some point. He can't just sit here forever.
This is way too close right now.
Or can he sit here forever? He's been timing.
Well, I mean, the hit points are very close too. So it's going to come down to what the game decides is going to be at.
Percentage health.
Right. I think KingDJK thinks that the timer is his out, and it comes down to what this crunch can do and what this flash cannon can do back to it.
Not if one of them doesn't attack. This game might end, right? Depending on their battle
close.
timer. Depending on their battle timer, this game may end right here.
It was close.
He may just go for the. He may just be counting on the fact that he has more percentage health. Because what's their base HP?
It's close. Tyranitar going to protect himself this turn. It's going to come down to the timer. It is so close right now. It is so close.